James got a question here. What are some common mistakes that website owners make when it comes to user experience?
They think their website's all about them and making their logo really, really big. It's not about you, it's about your customer. People are on your website because they want something from you. They don't want to see how big your logo is. They don't want to see anything to do with you. They want to see what you've got to offer. So make sure it's all about what you've got to offer.
Got play. How can a website owner determine whether their site is easy or difficult to use?
Pretty much if you give it to someone who is looking for something and they can't find what they need within 2 clicks, that's it. They're going to go somewhere else. So you've got 2 clicks to get them to what they want or what they need. And if you can't do it in 2 clicks, then they're out of there. They're going somewhere else. It's too hard.
Can you give me an example of a website with great user experience and explain what makes it so user friendly?
Okay, so let's look at the 2 Degrees website for a second. And as you can see right up front, they are telling you what it is you're jumping on their website for. So you can see their logo, as I said before, is hidden away over here in the left-hand corner. But what they've got in big writing here is hot deals. They know their audience really well. And so what they're saying is, hey, their audience is jumping on their website to find some phone deals. All right, so if we have a look at this, hello deals, you can download the PDF to have a look through their deals. Now, I wouldn't necessarily give a download for a PDF. I'd do something like what Spark have done here, where you can go in and see a deal. So you can see a really cool phone. You're going to get a free watch by the looks of it, or $200 off a watch, and you can go and buy that phone. So that would probably be a better user experience, but both these guys here are doing really well.
Cool. And in terms of design, what are some things website owners should keep in mind when creating a site that's easy to navigate?
In terms of design, keeping the colors consistent. Lots of business owners want to use 100 different colors. 2 colors are better than 100. You only want to keep things limited to very few colors, otherwise it gets too confusing. You also need to make sure that those colors match and blend. So if we go back to that example before with the 2 Degrees website, I mean, they're only using one major color. It's this blue with white. So their writing's blue and white, and then they've got this sort of black, which is actually like a deep blue color, which complements this light blue up the top here. So 2 colors works really, really well. If you get too many colors, it gets too confusing.
I got another question here. How important is mobile optimization for improving user experience?
It's really important. 70% of users these days are using mobile to browse websites. 85% are using Google search on mobile to find a service or something they need. So that number is just increasing year by year. Just 5 years ago, it was somewhere around 60%. And so it's like Google has a thing called mobile first, where your website should be optimized for mobile phones first. They knew this was coming. They knew this point was coming in time when there'll be mobiles used more than desktop computers. And so it's only fair that we need to make sure that websites are optimized for mobile users first.
Got play. What are some key elements of a homepage that make it user friendly?
Yeah, cool. So key elements are making sure that you're building trust. Really, that homepage is all about someone finding or getting to the place that they need. So you want a short intro to your brand somewhere on there. I wouldn't put that up the top about who you are and what you do. That needs to go further down, but you do want that somewhere on there. You will also want to introduce your services and the services you offer and how those can help any users landing on your website, like that 2 Degrees example that we showed earlier. That one there is showing, you can jump on there and get some cool deals for phones. So that's pretty much what you want to do, is make sure that those key elements are on the website, making sure you're using, the color consistently throughout the website. And also if you have brand guidelines, making sure that you're following those brand guidelines as well.
Another question, how can website owners implement feedback from users to improve their site's user experience?
Yeah, cool. So we've got a really cool tool that we use, which I'll show you, and it is called UserBack. So the way that UserBack works is we install a little code onto your website, which is called a feedback icon. And with that feedback, you can go in here and leave feedback about particular points on the website. So it might be that they don't want this headline, they want a different headline. And so they can go in and suggest a new headline or something similar. So it might be that we want to change the headline to something else. All right. So when you send that feedback off, what happens is it goes into a system in the background that allows you to manage that feedback. So this software here is called Userback. Definitely something I'd recommend for anyone wanting to collect feedback around websites and how to manage or to make changes to websites.
Cool. Are there any tools or resources you'd recommend for testing a site's usability?
Yep, sure. There's two tools I'd recommend. So one of them, or actually three, sorry. So one of them is definitely Screaming Frog. Just note, it's a very technical tool. So if you're not experienced in web development, then this one here is definitely the advanced tool of all of them. The next one is pretty much this tool here, which you would go to a website, you would install this plugin here. And this plugin is called Web Developer Checklist. So it's an extension that you can get for Google Chrome. And what it does is it tells you all of the things that are wrong with this website, and it gives you a pass rate down the bottom. So that's another thing that another tool that you can use. You can see our website's got 8 out of 13 right. Working on that, work in progress. And then the last one is obviously web browsers. So nothing can beat a web browser. I would go through and install probably 4 browsers on my computer. One would be Firefox, one would be an offshoot of Chrome. The other one would be Safari. And the last one is Microsoft Edge. And I would install those 4 browsers on your computer. Those are the 4 most common browsers that are used across computers around the world. And as long as you're covering all of those, then you're pretty much sweet. The next thing I would do is inside the Chrome browser is you can go down to inspect, and you can right click anywhere on a site. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that, Nick? Yep, you can right click and go inspect. And then what you can do over here in this top left corner is you can change the view from desktop view to mobile view, all right, or to responsive view is what they call it. Then up here, you can choose what sort of phone a person is browsing on. So we can say that they're browsing on an iPad Air and show me what the layout looks like. And by looking at your website in all of those different views, you can see where some of the problems are. Using that Userback tool, people can then go and leave feedback, and it will tell them what device or what size screen that person is viewed on where they've had that problem. So it all sort of ties in together. But yeah, that's pretty much what I'd use.
Cool, man. Now, for those that have products that they're selling on their website, how can a website owner make the checkout process smoother for the visitors?
Yeah, cool. So definitely one-click checkout is the big talk at the moment, where you find a product, you add it to your cart, and then you can pretty much purchase it straight off the bat, or you can just go click to buy. It pops up with a window, and your details, your credit card details, are already saved, and so it's just one click to buy. So you want to make that whole buying experience really, really simple, really, really easy. If you have too many steps in that, then people are just going to get lost. Now, Shopify is probably the e-commerce platform of choice. The reason being is because if I go onto one Shopify website and I enter my details, what Shopify actually does, and it's quite smart, is they will save my information into their Shopify database somewhere. I don't know how this works, but well, I sort of do, but anyway. And then if I go to Shopify site number 2, different owner, like not even related, my details are saved in the Shopify database already, and it sort of automatically picks it up. And so then my details are automatically entered. The only thing I need to worry about is entering my credit card, and that's where Stripe kicks in, right? So this is the other thing that you want to add to your website is Stripe, because if I've saved my details to Stripe already, even on site number 1, then now my credit card details are already automatically saved. And so it just makes that whole shopping experience way easier. It's like one click to buy. My address details are already stored, and bang, it goes through. If you're using other platforms like WooCommerce, Magento, or any of those other ones, it's going to be really hard to get that same experience. And that's why Shopify pretty much rules, because I've got these really smart tools. So definitely recommend Shopify for e-commerce, and for that one-click buy.
Cool, man. And lastly, what are some things website owners can do to ensure that their visitors have a positive experience overall?
Yeah, sure. So you want to make sure that all of your contact forms are working. You want to make sure there's no broken links on your website. You want to make sure that there's definitely a clear journey or a clear path to where the user needs to go to. So imagine someone going onto your website and looking for the service you sell, then jump onto your website and test that out and make sure it's easy and give it to like 10 mates and get them to test it out, get their feedback, make some changes, or get a professional in like us to have a look at it and, do some testing around what can be made easier. But that's pretty much what I would recommend is test, test, test. And technology changes. So what's working today might not work in a year's time. Just like the one click to buy on e-commerce 10 years ago, that was, not really a thing. So keep up with the times.
Kia ora. Thank you to everyone that's been watching and listening to us share these insights and tips. If you enjoyed this video, please like along for more and hope to see you guys on the next one.